wish I would have saw you earlier to grab that. Do you have that chain? Do you have that chain? Oh, no, no, stay. It's okay. One, two, three, four.
Good morning. Morning, everyone. Are we here? Are we awake? Are we present and ready for the day? Excellent. I'm Mary Beth. I'll be your service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. We are so happy to have you. If this is your first time, thank you so much for giving us a chance. We hope that we impress you. We hope that you'll love us because we already love you. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and giving us another shot. We love you too. Let's take a minute to silence our cell phones and anything else that makes a noise. If you could, please and thank you. Check it just to make sure. You may think it's on silent, and then it goes off, and you're like, oh, dang, I'm that person. We've all done it. Okay, so if you are new with us, hopefully you were greeted on your way in by one of our lovely greeters and given some information about our church, maybe a pamphlet with some of our information. If you want to receive emails or more information, join our email link. You can sign up. There's some sign-up little sheets on the credenza out there. And or you can go to our website, which is uupensacola.org, and it has everything about our church, about the UUs in general, how you can give, what that money goes to. We just finished our pledge drive, so you're not too late, though. I bet we'll take it if you still want to pledge. I'd put money on it, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put it towards the pledging. That's what I'm going to do with my money. So anyway, just visit our website if you have any questions about us as a community. Okay, so we have some more announcements, quite a few. So like I've been saying, buckle up, because I'll try and go fast, but not too fast. Are we ready? Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. That was more for me. I forgot to do that this morning. Okay, today right after service, there will be a meeting for Just, J-U-S-T, Pensacola, the Just Pensacola Network meeting. So you'll have time to get some refreshments, which we always have after service. If you come out here and go this way, there's the conference room. We have snacks and coffee and water that's provided by some lovely folks here. So grab yourself a snack and then come back into the sanctuary. At 11:30 is when they're going to start. And if you have agreed to be a network member during our house meeting, please be sure to attend. If you have not, please attend also. We need to prepare for a good turnout for the Nehemiah Action in a few short weeks. So for those of you who don't know what Just Pensacola is or the Nehemiah Action, since I have so many announcements, I'm going to skip it, but you can see one of the following people. Paula, there. Lauren, in the back. Penny is not here, but Barbara is, and you were probably greeted by her, but she's probably doing something very greetery and important. So ask them if you have questions, but it is a wonderful thing that is a must, and we need you to show up. Also, the membership, speaking of greeters, the membership team is seeking more greeters and ushers to help welcome people to our church on Sunday mornings. It's a super easy thing. You show up a little early and greet people with a smile. So we would love to have one or two more people to join the friendly team. And again, if you have questions or are interested in that, you can see Barbara. And she is, wandering around, and you'll see her pass the offertory basket later. The long-term planning committee is meeting again this afternoon. So I know we've got a couple things going on. So if you want to attend both, there's a few more listening sessions. So you have an opportunity if you want to go to the Just Pensacola meeting today, you can do that in the sanctuary. And then there's another long-term planning committee meeting March 22nd. So you have one more chance, right? That's the last one. No, there's a couple more. There's three more. Oh yeah, there's more in April. So you still have three more chances. But they are doing a listening session in the library, bless you, after service today. So again, get your snacks, and if you want to attend both the sanctuary and the listening, just bop back and forth. It's fine. They don't love that. From Sunday Suites, specifically our lovely Michael Newcomb. Thank you, Michael. For the month, yes, I know, right? Michael is the best. Michael is kind of taking charge of our Sunday Suites, which is our awesome fundraiser that we do monthly. So we have one coming up for the month of March. However, it is normally the second Sunday of every month, but this month we are going to do it March 15th in honor of Pi Day, which is March 14th, the day before. We're not going to make you come in on a Saturday, so we've pushed it a day, and the Sunday Suites theme is going to be what? You guessed it, pies. So please come, bring cash, or if you're new, you get a free slice. But bring cash or check, we'll figure it out. But if you have questions, you can see Michael, but just plan on March 15th, nothing but pies. March 15th as well for the second hour, so get yourself some coffee, a Sunday Suite, and then if you are interested, there is an invitation to a safety and committee meeting. It's creating a safe and loving community at UUCP. In this second hour, you are invited to learn about trauma-informed sensitivity and safety in an intentional community. In a diverse community, we all come with individual and varied histories that inform our identity, faith, culture, humor, and so many other things. We can hurt each other or cause discomfort without meaning to or being aware of it. According to our covenant, which we'll say in a bit, our goal is to love each other respectfully despite these differences. This will be the first discussion of several based around this concept of diverse expression, respect, and understanding the sensitivities of others. So that is March 15th. So I know we're not sure where yet that's going to be meeting, most likely I'm guessing in the sanctuary, but stay tuned on details for that. But if you have any questions, you can see Laura Keith King up here, or Honor Bell, who's probably in the foyer. In childcare. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Next one, it's party time. Our very own Farron Collins is having an 80th birthday party here Saturday, March 21st from 5 to 8. In the sanctuary, it's dance to the oldies and a potluck. So all are welcome, so bring your kids, bring your family, bring a dish to share, and bring your dancing shoes, obviously, most important. But if you have questions, you can see Farron. Also, save the date, Saturday, March 28th is the No Kings 3 protest, and it's going to be in, multiple places, but locally here it'll be in Pensacola, Milton, and Navarre. So again, that's Saturday, March 28th, and I'm sure you can Google information about it, or you can ask Laura, Laura here up front, if y'all have any questions. My last one, that wasn't too bad. One more. Attention campers. We need a head count for our UU campout. So I know it's far away, but we need a head count by the end of the March. So if you are interested, please let me or Chris know by the end of this month. Where's Chris? There, thank you. It's not until October 9th through the 12th. So you have plenty of time to make arrangements. We are going with 3 other UU churches in the Panhandle area, which will be super cool. So yeah, we need a head count so we can figure out how much space to dominate, basically. So please let me and Chris know by the end of March if you are interested in camping out. Also, that we are going to pick a place with cabins. So there are cabins available and tents. Obviously, you can do it. You can rough it if you want. I'm not much of a camper. We all know this. But anyway, so see us for that. Okay. I think that's all the questions. Let's just do a quick little turn to your neighbor and say, I love you and I'm glad you're here. Love you. Love you, Athena. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. And I love you. Okay. Chalice lighting. Joe, would you mind helping me? Thank you. When strangers meet, endless possibilities emerge. New experiences, new ways of understanding, and new ways of taking action. When strangers meet, each pays special attention to the other. Each is called to serve something larger than the self. Today, this morning, let's light the chalice for openness, for willingness to grow, for rich curiosity, and for common purpose. Thanks. Okay, now I'm switching gears. Every month for the next few months, we're doing a ministry team minute. Basically, we are shining a light on our different ministry teams around the church so that, or in our community, so that you guys know what they are. We've already had one for Sunday services. We had one for finance. And this one's mine. I'm head of fun and fellowship, in case you didn't know. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Aside from the obvious, to have fun and hang with cool people, fun and fellowship speaks to the deeper human need for connection. It is the intentional creation of spaces where people can engage authentically. It isn't merely for social activities. It is a meaningful way to strengthen connections, allowing us to function with greater unity and purpose. And in case you're skeptical, here are some examples. Look, there's us bowling. Oh, yeah. This is just a few. There's us at a roller derby match supporting Audrey, one of our members, who is on the West Florida Roller Derby, and the season's about to start up. Yes. And here's some more. There's us eating at Vallarta, having a big family lunch after church one Sunday. So this is what fun looks like. See? Fun. That's right. I got her permission to share it. This is the epitome. This is how much fun we have. So, yes, Several of you have approached me with ideas for activities, which is great and much appreciated. That said, I am a busy gal, and I would love some help. So if you are interested in helping in any way, whether that's organizing, financial contributions, setup, cleanup, whatever, please reach out to me. Mary Beth. That's me. And thank you. Thus concludes our ministry team minute. Okay. Centering music? Do we have centering music?
Yeah.
Let's do some centering music, just a little bit.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah. We have some opening words. Yes, thank you. By Albert Camus. The only way to fight the plague is with decency, not heroism, not glory, just simple, stubborn decency. When fascism rises, it is the quiet refusal to cooperate with injustice that becomes the most powerful act of rebellion. On that note, let us sing together, shall we? If you are willing and able to stand and sing, we'll be singing from the Teal book, number 1021. I think you all know it, Lean on Me. And then stay standing afterwards and we'll recite our covenant together. Oh, choir, yes.
We
say our covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, choir. Okay. You may notice a little something different up front here. We now come to the part of our service where we share joys and sorrows of our lives. Some of you have probably noticed that our large Joys and Sorrows candle is absent, and a bowl of water is sitting in its place. Today, our joys and sorrows will look a little different, but it still will be a meaningful time for us to connect and support one another. For the past few weeks, our service leaders have had a lot of difficulty lighting our candles. There's a lot of candles. Additionally, our supplies of replacement candles has been exhausted. For many years, Kate Wolverton was our dedicated candle maker, crafting the big, beautiful candle you saw here week after week. With Kate and her husband Jack traveling across the country, we find ourselves without a resident candle maker. This prompted us to explore alternative practices so we can continue this beloved tradition, obviously. This morning, we are excited to try a different practice that many UU congregations across the country have adapted. And that brings us to the bowl of water and stones you see. The process remains mostly the same. You will share briefly your joy or sorrow with the congregation. It's not recorded. As it said here, it's just for today, just for us in this room. Then, instead of lighting a candle for you, you will select a stone and drop it gently into the bowl of water. The meaning remains the same. Your experience is heard, honored, and held by all of us here. I will start with dropping the first stone to represent all the pain and sorrow around the world, and I think we can all agree it's a lot. Our hearts are heavy today with a lot of things going on. So I'll drop a stone, and then after that, if you guys want to line up on either side, again, share your name and briefly something that you'd like to share with the congregation. last little thought on our new tradition. So may the ripples of our shared joys and sorrows remind us of our connectedness and inspire us to cultivate compassion, empathy, and love for one another. So thank you for letting us try something new and give me some feedback. Be gentle, but give me some feedback if you wish. Okay, I'm going to invite Joe up to do a time for all ages, and then we'll have our offertory.
All right. This is the first Sunday of the month, which is an all-ages service. I don't know that my service is necessarily geared towards kids, so I apologize in advance for that, kids, if you stick around. But we're going to have a read-aloud of a book. This is something that Bradley picked out. It is called, if I can find it.
That Fruit is Mine.
That Fruit is Mine, by Anuska Alapuz.
That Fruit is Mine, by Anuska Alapuz. Deep in the heart of the jungle lived 5 elephants. In that jungle grows lots of fruit. The elephants loved fruit. Elephant 1 munched on mangoes. Elephant 2 craved coconuts. Elephant 3 was keen on kiwis. Elephant 4 banqueted on bananas. And Elephant 5 preferred pineapples. But one day, deep, deep in the heart of the jungle, the elephants discovered a new tree, a new, very tall tree. And on that very tall tree was the most delicious-looking exotic fruit that the elephants had ever seen. Everyone wanted to eat it. Hey, look at that! Mine! Cried Elephant 1. That fruit is mine. She knew that she could reach it. She huffed and she puffed with all her might.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, up, up.
The fruit didn't move an itty-bitty inch.
Heave-ho! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, up, up.
Mine, said Elephant 2. That fruit is mine. She knew that she had a very smart idea. She could already taste that sweet fruit.
Keep stretching. Look at that humongous bug.
Perhaps her idea needed a little more work. Mine, shouted Elephant 3. That fruit is mine. He knew that he was cleverer than Elephant 1 and Elephant 2. So with a heave and a stretch, he started to climb.
How far to go now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, up, up.
Oof! He didn't get very far at all.
I can almost reach.
Nice try. Help! The elephants were getting very impatient and very hungry. Elephant 4 decided to just run at the tree as fast as he could. Mine! Mine! Said the elephants all at once. But just at that moment, the delicious-looking exotic fruit began to move.
Oops, I beg your pardon.
Now the delicious-looking exotic fruit belonged to the 5 mice, who carried it together. "This fruit is ours," the 5 mice said. The elephants looked on, astonished. "Ours?" said the elephant.
Hooray, we've got the fruit.
"Ours?" said the elephant all at once. "Why didn't we think of that?" Huff, puff. "Ours!" Huff, heave. "Ours!" Stretch. The fruit is ours. And that's how, deep, deep in the heart of the jungle, the elephants finally got their delicious-looking exotic fruit. Weren't there 5 of us? Mine! Ours!
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you, Joe. All right, now it's time for offertory. I'm gonna get the band and choir to start making some moves because they're gonna lead us. Mike is gonna lead us in a song. Words will be up on the screen. But for those of you who don't know, we are member funded. Now's the time where we would like to collect any treasures you may want to give us. You can send us a check, you can text it to a number, or you can sign up online on our website and give reoccurringly. But our ushers are gonna pass around the baskets while we sing a song together. And I think you'll know it, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
His name, Lord. We know when we understand. Almighty God is a living man. You can't fool some people sometimes, but you couldn't fool all the people all the time. So now you see the light. What you're gonna do? Stand up for your right. Everybody, everybody, get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up,
Stand up for your right.
stand up for your right.
Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up.
Don't give up the fight. Get up and stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up and stand up. Don't give up the fight. 'Cause we won't give up the fight. Won't give up the fight. Never give up the fight. Won't give up the fight. Don't 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 give up the fight.
Thank you. Thank you, choir. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I've written quite a few intros for our speaker, and I did not write one today because we all know and love him, and also I forgot. Joe is our Pensacola historian, for one. If y'all don't follow him on social media, do it today. It is so good and informative and very clever. I'm going to embarrass him. But anywho, follow him on social media, but also he's a massive, beloved member of our community, and we are so lucky to have him, and we're lucky to have him speak today. So help me welcome Joe Vinson.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. I want to begin with a confession. I love a good, rugged individualist story. The lone pioneer crossing the prairie, the entrepreneur in the garage, the scrappy underdog who pulls themselves up by the bootstraps and builds something extraordinary. We've all absorbed this mythology, right? It's woven deeply into our American identity, from the frontier narratives of Frederick Jackson Turner and the Frontier Thesis, to novellas like My Side of the Mountain and Hatchet, to modern superheroes like Tony Stark. We are steeped in the story of the self-made, self-reliant individual. And there is something beautiful in individual dignity, autonomy, and freedom. Those are values that we affirm as UUs: the inherent worth and dignity of every person, freedom of conscience, the right of each of us to search for truth and meaning. But we are also called by our eighth principle to dismantle systems of oppression. So here's the tension I want to explore today. When does healthy individualism become corrosive? When does self-reliance become a story used to weaken our collective power? And when do individual rights bind us to a system of oppression? The phrase rugged individualism was famously popularized by President Herbert Hoover in his 1928 presidential campaign. He contrasted American self-reliance with what he called the collectivism of Europe. Of course, he went on to preside over the Great Depression and the federal government's initially inadequate response to it, so take that with a grain of salt. But historians point out something important. Even during the westward expansion, the frontier was not a story of isolated individuals. Settlers relied on federal land policy, military protection, railroad subsidies, community cooperation. The Homestead Act was a government program. The Transcontinental Railroad was a heavily subsidized public infrastructure. In other words, the myth of rugged individualism was always that, a myth. But that's not something Americans want to hear. Remember the outraged reactions to this speech by Barack Obama?
This unbelievable American system that we have that allowed you to thrive.
Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own. Government research created the internet, so then all the companies could make money off the internet.
That was President Obama telling America's small businesses and entrepreneurs, you didn't get here on your own.
I think it's disturbing.
It's petty. It's mean.
It was almost an insult. It was an insult.
Just an insult.
Does President Obama want a do-over?
Successful people shouldn't give themselves all of the credit.
Thank a bureaucrat. President Obama not exactly making friends with business owners.
They shouldn't be considered special in America, and indeed they should pay more in income tax.
Well, I think we're starting to find out the real Obama.
That's a near-socialist approach to economics.
It has a very socialist theme to it.
I get in a lot of trouble for calling him a socialist.
All right, I'm going to cut it short just because I'm looking at the clock. You get the idea. In Habits of the Heart, sociologist Robert Bellah et al. Documented how Americans speak in a language of radical individualism even while our lives are profoundly interdependent. We rely on roads, public schools, fire departments, libraries, Social Security, Medicare, systems so integrated into daily life that we forget that they are collective achievements. But beginning in the late 20th century, something shifted. Research in political economy by scholars like Jacob Hacker and Paul Pearson shows how organized wealth invested heavily in reshaping public attitudes about government and collective institutions. Labor unions were reframed not as democratic worker collectives, but as corrupt special interests. Regulation was recast as interference, taxes reframed as theft. The result? Union membership in the US has fallen from roughly 1/3 of workers in the 1950s to around 10% today. And economists consistently find that declining union density is associated with wage stagnation and growing inequality. When workers bargain collectively, wages rise not only for union members, but for the entire industries. When collective power declines, income concentrates at the top. Here's a chart that illustrates that pretty starkly. It says share of income going to the top 10% is the blue line, and the red line is union membership. Consider healthcare. The United States spends far more per capita on healthcare than any other wealthy nation, yet has lower life expectancy and higher infant mortality than many peer countries. Health economists point to administrative overhead and privatization as major cost drivers. Countries with more collective financing, whether through single-payer or tightly regulated systems, achieve better outcomes at lower cost. Yet, our public conversations often turn toward lifestyle. Figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. emphasize food additives, supplements, seed oils, personal consumption choices, things like that as the central drivers of chronic illness. And yes, good nutrition is important, but many of the recommended solutions, organic produce, specialty diets, curated supplements, are expensive. They presume disposable income, time, and access. Millions of Americans live in food deserts. Millions lack paid sick leave. Many cannot afford boutique wellness regimens. They can't afford to go to specialty gyms with their celebrity buddies wearing jeans. When illness is framed primarily as personal optimization failure, structural drivers like income inequality, pollution, insurance fragmentation, these fade from view. After years of having concepts of a plan, the Trump administration has recently proposed what they call the Great Healthcare Plan to replace ACA's insurance subsidies with direct payments to individuals' health savings accounts. For a young person with no underlying health issues, that probably sounds attractive. But as many of you know, catastrophic illness does not respect monthly stipends. A cancer diagnosis can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in costs. A premature birth can exceed a family's annual income. Insurance works by pooling risk. The healthy subsidize the sick today because tomorrow the roles may be reversed. When subsidies become flat payments, risk shifts from the collective to the individual. For the healthy, that may feel like freedom. For the chronically ill, it can mean financial ruin or a death sentence. Again, individualization sounds empowering, but it often leaves individuals weaker. We witnessed perhaps the clearest case study of individualism versus collective responsibility during the COVID-19 pandemic. Public health is collective by definition. My vaccination protects you, your mask protects me. Epidemiologists call these externalities, the spillover effects of individual decisions. The mRNA vaccines emerged from decades of publicly funded research, and yet resistance to vaccination and masking was frequently framed as a defense of personal liberty. Now consider a comparison. In the United States, masking quickly became politicized, treated by many as an infringement on personal freedom. Public health guidance was contested not only on scientific grounds, but on ideological ones. Vaccination campaigns encountered widespread suspicion. Mask mandates triggered protests. Did anyone have the experience of getting yelled at for wearing a mask somewhere in public? In Japan, the dynamic was markedly different. Even before COVID, mask wearing during flu season has been a common practice there. It was understood less as a personal imposition and more as a social courtesy, a small act of responsibility toward the elderly, the immunocompromised, and the community at large. Importantly, Japan implemented far fewer legally enforceable lockdowns than the United States. Many measures were voluntary. But compliance was high because the cultural expectation emphasized social harmony and mutual obligation. The results were striking. Per capita, the US experienced significantly higher COVID mortality than Japan, despite more Japanese people relying on crowded public transit. The US has seen 3,616 COVID deaths per million, compared to only 597 per million in Japan. The vaccination rates of the two countries are almost identical, by the way. While multiple other factors were at play, not least of which Japan's excellent universal health care, public health researchers have pointed to higher voluntary masking rates as a meaningful contributor to their lower death toll. And what we witnessed during COVID was not simply disagreement over science, it was a moral disagreement about our obligation. Was I responsible only for myself, or did my choices carry weight for strangers? Collective responsibility requires empathy for people we may never meet. What makes this even more difficult is when this empathy is weaponized against us in the name of corporate profit. There was an episode of John Oliver's Last Week Tonight, it was actually during COVID, that showed how petrochemical companies promoted recycling campaigns in the 1970s and 80s, despite knowing that plastic recycling was economically unviable at scale. It took me a while, but I was able to edit together a clip that didn't have any F-bombs, so here we go.
Backlash. By the 60s and 70s, organisations began drawing attention to all the packaging waste littering the landscape through ads like this one.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Now, you might have seen that ad before. It really touched people's heartstrings, because apparently the worst thing white people ever did to America's indigenous populations was litter on the freeway. But there are a few misleading things about it. First, that man wasn't actually Native American. He was an Italian-American actor who played them for a living. And while it's by no means the first time someone of Italian descent inserted themselves into a Native American narrative without asking, I guess at least this time no one named a holiday after him. But more to the point, the organisation that produced that ad, Keep America Beautiful, was funded in part by a plastics industry trade group and composed of leading beverage and packaging corporations, which might seem odd until you realise that the underlying message there is it's up to you, the consumer, to stop pollution. And that has been a major through line in the recycling movement, a movement often bankrolled by companies who wanted to drill home the message that it is your responsibility to deal with the environmental impact of their products.
Sorry again about the unsynced video there. Plastic manufacturers pushed state governments to require the 3 arrows symbol onto all plastics, even though only a small fraction of them are actually recyclable. What ends up happening is people put all sorts of plastic into their recycling cans, but that contaminates the rest. Meanwhile, corporations continued producing billions of tons of single-use plastic. Some of the biggest producers of plastic waste, Coca-Cola and Nestle, have created ad campaigns about the importance of recycling, but they will never ever suggest that we stop or slow our consumption habits. Environmental sociologists call this responsibilization, shifting systemic responsibility onto individuals. To be clear, personal action matters. We recycle. But personal action alone cannot solve systemic problems engineered at industrial scale. When systemic harm is reframed as a matter of personal virtue, structural accountability dissolves. The same is true for climate change. Individual carbon footprints are real, but the term carbon footprint was coined and popularized by an early 2000s marketing campaign commissioned by BP. That was when British Petroleum rebranded itself as Beyond Petroleum, with this logo, this radial green logo that called to mind the sun and plants. How's that going, BP? As of last February, the month after Trump took office, after telling oil companies if they gave him $1 billion, they could do whatever they wanted, BP announced that it will cut its renewable energy investments and instead focus on increasing oil and gas production. Well, nevertheless. Campaigns like BP's are part of a broader effort to reframe how we think, not just about climate change, but about the rich and powerful and about systems in general. Here in Florida, lawmakers recently restricted how sociology and related disciplines may discuss systemic racism, sexism, oppression, and privilege in public education. The backlash against CRT was about race, of course, but it was also about the C in that acronym, the critical examination. People in power don't want you examining that power too closely. And as billionaires and large corporations continue to consolidate power and ownership of media, as we're seeing with Larry Ellison buying TikTok, CBS and Paramount, and now it seems CNN and Warner Brothers, it's predictable that the media will continue to promote deference to wealth. They will continue to manufacture consent for policies that benefit corporations, be they taxes or military invasions. They will continue to push what Dr. King called, quote, socialism for the rich and rugged free market capitalism for the poor. They want a population that thinks a lot like Fry here. Maybe? Nope. Let's try it one more time. All right, well, technical issues. It's a very funny clip. Fry says, I can't remember the line exactly. All right, well, I'll share it another time. In comic book movies, the world is saved not by policy reform, not by democratic deliberation, but by exceptional individuals who have the power to do what they feel is right. As people like Alan Moore have pointed out, superheroes are essentially fascist fantasies. They imagine a world in which morally certain, physically superior individuals operate above the law to impose order. There's a whole sequence in The Dark Knight where Batman turns everyone's cell phones into this massive surveillance network, and his moral advisor, played by Morgan Freeman here, essentially says, this is wrong, but it's okay for you to do it this time because you are well-meaning. Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark are these super genius, benevolent billionaires who develop incredible technology to help them fight crime. And that's great and all, but what I want to know is what their effective tax rate is. J.K. Rowling has given us a lot of reasons lately not to be super enthusiastic about Harry Potter, but a few years back, YouTuber Sean created a great video that examines the neoliberal assumptions that were embedded in her wizarding world all along. It's a universe where there are evil people, but not evil systems. Slavery is bad when house elves are mistreated, like how the Malfoys treat Dobby, but it's good when the slaves are treated well, like at Hogwarts. They actually prefer it. Hermione gets upset at the whole slavery thing, but her friends all think that her protests are shrill and annoying, and the text seems to agree with the friends. It's bad when bullying happens to Harry because he's a good person. It's okay when it happens to Dudley or unattractive, overweight Slytherins because they're bad people. After Voldemort is defeated, the status quo is restored. Harry and Ron become wizard cops in the same government where wizard Nazis had just taken over shortly before, and no systemic structural changes seem to have taken place. And this is all, frivolous stuff. But think about how this thinking pervades our media and shapes the way that we think about things. The wizard is evil, defeat the wizard. The leader is corrupt, replace the leader. But the institution itself, intact. The late political commentator Michael Brooks had a saying that we should, quote, be kind to people and be ruthless to systems. Superheroes rarely dismantle unjust systems. They defeat villains. The structure remains. If it didn't, there wouldn't be a sequel, and the circle of consumption would be broken. So, what do? First, we interrogate the stories that we've inherited. We can celebrate creativity and initiative without romanticizing isolation and greed. Second, we rebuild institutions of collective power. Research consistently shows that unionized workplaces have lower wage inequality. Public health systems reduce mortality. Social insurance reduces poverty among the elderly. Third, we expand our moral imagination of what's possible. During the pandemic, the question was not merely what do I want, but who is vulnerable. In climate policy, the question should not only be what is convenient, but who bears the cost. Collective responsibility is not the opposite of freedom. It is the condition that makes meaningful freedom possible. You are not free if you cannot afford insulin. You are not free if your water is contaminated. You are not free if your wages cannot sustain housing. Individual liberty without collective strength is fragile. As John Donne wrote, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. We are immersed in systems and shaped by them for both good and bad." I'm often reminded lately of the saying, "Any jackass can kick a barn down, but it takes a carpenter to build one." But then it's not just a carpenter building it, is it? It takes a community effort. Perhaps the real American story is not the lone cowboy. Perhaps it's the barn raising. Neighbors gathering, collective effort, shared labor, shared reward. In that story, no one pulls himself up by their bootstraps alone. They lift one another. May we have the courage to do the same. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Some closing words, and then I'll invite the band and choir to come up, and we'll sing a really fun song to sing everybody out. These words are by John Steinbeck. Humanity is remarkable, not for its flaws, but for its ability to rise above them together. The great movements of history have always been built on the shoulders of many, not the brilliance of one. When we stand together, we become something greater than the sum of our parts. Okay, words are going to be up on the screen. I do think you guys should stand for this if you're willing and able, because it's fun and you'll want to get into it. So we'll sing this song together, and then we can convene in the conference room for treats and coffee. Fingers crossed. Thank y'all so much for coming. We love you. Go in peace. Hit it.
That was good.
Hold down. Yeah. That'd be a first. Yeah. For me, probably. I play a lot of stuff. Rob. You don't want to do it in the original? Yes. And how it's written? All of me. And the original key? Yeah. G.
C major?
Minor. This is a different key. You don't want to look at mine. Yeah. Everything's gonna be a whole step lower. So that would be a C. That'd be a G sharp, or that'd be an E. That'd be G, E. That'd be A, and so on and so forth. Yeah, what?